Have you ever watched someone walk into a room and instantly take control of the energy, without even trying? Maybe you've met a person who always gets what they want, yet somehow never looks pushy, manipulative, or dominant. Here's a secret. They're using psychological techniques simple, subtle, invisible that anyone can learn. Today, I'll show you 45 psychological tricks that make you unstoppable in conversations, negotiations, relationships, and everyday life. And no one will even notice you're using them. Stay till the end. The last 3 tricks are so powerful most people use them unconsciously. 1. The gravity pause. Whenever you ask someone an important question, try adding a 2-second pause afterward. Not a long pause, just enough silence to make the other person's brain fill the gap. Humans hate unanswered space. Their instinct pushes them to explain more than they intended. They reveal details, intentions, and sometimes truths they never meant to share. Use it wisely. This trick is deceptively powerful. 2. The Competence Trigger. If you want someone to trust you instantly, don't brag. Instead, admit one small weakness, something harmless. Psychologists call this the pratfall effect. When you seem human, people assume you're competent. When you try to look perfect, they assume you're hiding something. Say something small, like, "I always forget where I put my keys, but here's what I figured out about this project." Your credibility skyrockets. 3. The emotional label switch. If someone is angry, frustrated, or anxious, don't tell them to calm down. That phrase has never worked in the history of civilization. Instead, label the emotion you see. You look frustrated. You seem worried about the timing. It sounds like you feel unheard. This does 2 things. It lowers emotional intensity, and it makes people feel understood, the most addictive human sensation. 4. The reverse resistance technique. If you want someone to do something, but they're resisting, don't push harder. Push less. Say, "Of course, it's up to you," or "You don't have to decide now." When people feel their freedom is respected, their resistance collapses. It's called reactance reversal. Remove the pressure, and the mind opens. 5. The social mirror advantage. The easiest way to make anyone feel connected to you. Mirror their energy, not their body. If they talk fast, speed up slightly. If they speak softly, reduce your volume. If they're excited, show enthusiasm. Humans evolved to trust those who sync with them. It creates an invisible bridge, and once it's there, everything else becomes easier. 6. The strategic compliment. Most compliments bounce off because they're too generic. "You're smart," "You're nice," "Good job." If you want your compliment to stick, make it about someone's identity, not their action. You read the kind of person who always stays calm under pressure. You're someone people can rely on. Humans cling to identity compliments and unconsciously try to prove them true. 7. The reset question. When a conversation stalls or gets awkward, ask, "Can I ask you something interesting?" This resets the other person's mental state. It shifts focus, spikes curiosity, and makes you the emotional leader of the interaction. Curiosity is the fastest way to revive dead conversations. 8. The ownership principle. If you want someone to feel connected to an idea, let them contribute even 1% to it. Humans support what they help create. Instead of saying, "Here's the plan," say, "What part of this plan do you think we can improve?" The moment they add even a tiny suggestion, the idea becomes partly theirs, and they will defend it instead of resisting it. This trick transforms conflicts, teamwork, and even relationships. 9. The confidence anchor. Confidence is not a personality trait, it's a state, and states can be triggered. Choose a physical gesture to associate with feeling confident, clenching your fist, straightening your posture, or touching your fingertips together. Practice recalling a strong moment of success while making that gesture. After several repetitions, your brain links the gesture to the emotional state. This becomes a confidence button you can activate on demand before speaking, negotiating, or entering an unfamiliar environment. 10. The invisible leadership move. When walking with a group, take a half step ahead, not enough to seem arrogant, just enough to be slightly in front. Humans instinctively follow whoever is positioned ahead. It signals direction, purpose, and subtle authority. This trick works in everyday life, at work, or on a date. Leadership is often nonverbal. 11. The agreement frame. If someone is resisting your idea, don't debate them. Say, "I completely understand why you'd think that." This softens their defenses instantly. Then add, here's something interesting to consider. When people feel understood, they become open. When they feel opposed, they lock down. Validation opens doors that logic alone cannot. 12. The memory imprint trick. People remember the peak of an experience and the end, not the whole thing. This is called the peak-end rule. So if you want someone to remember a meeting, date, or presentation positively, 1. Create one high-impact moment, and 2. End on an emotionally warm note. Humans forget the middle, but they remember the peak and the ending forever. 13. The silent compliment. Some of the most powerful compliments are never spoken, they're observed. Give someone your full attention. Put your phone away, lean slightly forward. Listen without preparing your next sentence. This rare type of focus communicates, you matter. People feel it instantly and they associate that feeling with you. 14. The future snap technique. When someone is stuck in anxiety, shift their perspective from the present moment to the future. Ask, what do you think this situation will look like in a month? Or what will matter about this 5 years from now? The brain zooms out, stress shrinks, perspective returns. It's like mentally stepping out of a storm. 15. The name echo. Using someone's name at key emotional moments creates instant warmth and connection. Don't overuse it, that feels manipulative. But say their name when you're greeting them, thanking them, or acknowledging something important. The brain loves hearing its own name. It's like tapping a connection switch. 16. The doubt disarmer. When someone doubts your ability, respond not with defensiveness but with calm curiosity. What makes you feel that way? This does 2 things. 1. It interrupts their negative momentum, and 2. It shifts responsibility for explanation onto them. Often, their criticism collapses under its own weight. 17. The one-sentence story. If you want to persuade someone, don't give them statistics. Give them a story, even a tiny one. Humans evolved to think in narratives. Facts speak to the mind, stories speak to the brain. One sentence is enough. I once worked with a guy who tried the opposite, it ended badly. Instant emotional impact. 18. The effort paradox. People value things they work for. So if you want someone to appreciate you, your project, or your relationship more, don't give them everything effortlessly. Invite participation. Allow investment. Let them contribute effort. What costs energy becomes valuable. 19. The expectation flip. If you want someone to exceed expectations, don't pressure them. Instead, set a positive prediction. I know you'll handle this well, or you're the kind of person who figures things out. Humans subconsciously try to fulfill expectations placed on them, especially positive ones. This technique subtly upgrades a person's self-image, and behavior follows. 20. The emotional checkpoint. In emotionally intense conversations, take a brief pause to ask, what are you feeling right now? This pulls people out of emotional autopilot and back into awareness. Naming feelings reduces their power, a principle proven in multiple neuroscience studies. It transforms arguments into conversations and misunderstandings into clarity. 21. The doorway reset. Your brain automatically resets when you walk through a doorway. It's called the doorway effect. Use this to your advantage. If you're stressed, unfocused, or overwhelmed, simply change rooms. Your mental state will shift faster than you expect. It's a built-in psychological restart button. 22. The silent power move. When someone raises their voice, lower yours. It's not submission, it's control. Humans instinctively match tone, but when one person becomes quieter, the brain interprets it as authority, intelligence, and emotional mastery. Silence and softness are often more powerful than volume. 23. The I might be wrong, but technique. If you want someone to actually listen to your idea, remove the ego barrier. Start with, I might be wrong, but here's what I'm thinking. This disarms defensiveness, signals humility, and makes people more curious than reactive. It frames your idea as a possibility, not an attack. Ironically, this phrase makes people take your idea more seriously, not less. 24. The curiosity hook. Ironically, this phrase makes people take your ideas more seriously, not less. To make people pay attention, don't begin with information. Begin with a question they didn't expect. Instead of, let me explain this strategy, say, have you ever wondered why some strategies fail even when they look perfect? Curiosity hijacks the brain. Once activated, people can't stop listening until the loop is closed. 25. The gratitude multiplier. If you want your thank yous to truly matter, add one specific detail about what the person did. Not, "Thank you for your help," but, "Thank you for organizing everything so smoothly, it made my whole day easier." Specific gratitude activates deeper emotional pathways and strengthens relationships dramatically. 26. The emotional bookmark strategy. People rarely remember every detail of what you say, but they always remember how you made them feel at specific moments. So before any important conversation, take one emotional intention: supportive, confident, curious, warm, or calm. This emotional tone becomes a bookmark in their memory. Even if your words fade, the emotional impression remains sharp. It's one of the most powerful forms of silent influence. 27. The politeness override. When someone is being rude or passive-aggressive, don't match their energy. Be even more polite, calm, measured, almost formal. Why? Because rudeness is fueled by emotional escalation. Politeness interrupts the emotional rhythm and forces the other person to recalibrate. Often, they soften immediately. If not, you still stay in control. 28. The subtle status cue. Want to appear more confident instantly. Slow your movements by 10%. Not too slow, just slightly more deliberate. High-status individuals move intentionally. Low-status individuals move quickly, nervously, and reactively. By slowing down, you send psychological signals of certainty, self-belief, and emotional stability. People feel it even if they can't explain why. 29. The I need your help effect. Asking for small help increases likability, a paradox proven by researchers at Harvard. It works because the act of helping rewires the helper's brain. I help this person. Therefore I must like them. I help this person. Therefore I must like them. Use it sparingly, genuinely, and strategically. Tiny requests strengthen bonds far more than big favors. 30. The neutral face advantage. When listening, keep your face neutral, not blank, not overly expressive. A neutral expression gives the other person space to reveal more. They project their own feelings onto your calmness, which makes them feel surprisingly safe. It's especially effective in negotiations, interviews, or conflict resolution. 31. The time-bend question. To quickly understand someone's priorities, ask, "What's the most important thing about this for you?" This question cuts through surface-level arguments and exposes the emotional core. It saves hours of confusion and prevents entire conflicts. When you understand the motive behind behavior, everything else becomes simple. 32. The strategic silence pattern. Silence is uncomfortable, and that's exactly why it's powerful. After saying something important, pause long enough for the other person to process. This creates gravity around your words. Great speakers use silence as emotional punctuation. Great negotiators use it to pressure the other side without speaking. Silence is not emptiness, it's presence. 33. The Reframe portal. Your brain shapes reality through the words you choose. Instead of saying, "I have to," try saying, "I get to." Instead of, "This is a problem," say, "This is a puzzle." Micro-reframes reshape emotional experience. Your thoughts, tone, and actions improve automatically, and people feel the difference in your energy. 34. The directed attention trick. When entering a room, don't look around nervously. Pick one point straight ahead, a neutral target, and walk toward it. This removes hesitation from your movement, signaling confidence and clarity. People instinctively take you more seriously. Direction equals purpose, purpose equals respect. 35. The instant trust gesture. When greeting someone, slightly angle your body rather than facing them directly. It makes you appear approachable instead of confrontational. Then smile gently, not with your mouth, but with your eyes. Humans subconsciously track micro-expressions. A genuine eye smile creates immediate warmth, connection, and trust. You've now learned 35 powerful psychological techniques. These are small moves that reshape how people see you, how they respond to you, and how you carry yourself. But we're not done yet. The final set of techniques will tie everything together, showing you how to apply all of this in real life, effortlessly. You're about to learn how to become the kind of person people naturally listen to, follow, and remember. 36. The emotional temperature drop. When someone is overwhelmed, panicking, spiraling, or rambling, lower your voice, slow your breathing, and drop your emotional temperature. People unconsciously synchronize with the calmest nervous system in the room. Your calm becomes contagious. Your stability becomes the anchor. This is how leaders prevent emotional storms from escalating. 37. The non-reactive face. When someone tries to provoke you, insults, sarcasm, pressure, give them nothing. No visible reaction, no frown, no flinch. This forces them to confront the emptiness of their attack. Their emotional energy hits a wall and collapses. Non-reaction is one of the strongest psychological shields you can master. 38. The teaching position trick. If you want someone to respect you more, take the role of a quiet teacher, not by lecturing, but by explaining something simply. People associate explanation with intelligence and authority. And the calmer the explanation, the more powerful the effect. Even a small insight can elevate your perceived status instantly. 39. The selective vulnerability move. Being vulnerable all the time weakens you. Being vulnerable strategically builds trust. Share something small and real, just enough to open the emotional door. Then shift the focus back to strength or insight. This creates a layered, intriguing personality, humble yet confident, open yet composed. People connect deeply with that combination. 40. The Unshakable Frame. Your frame is your psychological stance, your worldview in any interaction. Strong frames bend reality. If you act like something is normal, others accept it as normal. If you act like something is important, others pay attention. If you act like something is calm, others calm down. Most people follow the strongest frame in the room. Make yours unshakable. 41. The micro-commitment ladder. Want someone to agree to something big? Start with a tiny yes. Ask for a small detail, a small confirmation, a small acknowledgement. Each yes lowers resistance and builds momentum. By the time you reach the bigger request, their brain is already aligned toward cooperation. This is the psychology behind great persuasion: slow, consistent, effortless. 42. The I notice formula. A powerful way to build connection is simply pointing out something positive you noticed. I noticed you always help people without thinking. I noticed you stayed calm even when things got stressful. I noticed how committed you are. Noticing is deeper than complimenting. It makes people feel seen, which is one of the strongest human needs. 43. The Predictive Calm technique. When someone is worried about an upcoming situation, speak with predictive calm. Whatever happens, you'll handle it. You've dealt with way harder things. This is going to go better than you think. The brain is highly sensitive to predictions. Saying calm outcomes out loud actually changes how the mind prepares for them. Confidence is built in advance. 44. The internal applause strategy. Most people rely on external validation, likes, compliments, approval. Break that dependency by giving yourself internal applause after small wins. Finished a difficult paragraph, applause. Made progress, applause. Handled something calmly, applause. This rewires your brain to create self-sustaining confidence. People who validate themselves radiate a different kind of power: quiet, grounded, undeniable. 45. The final technique, identity shift activation. Here is the most powerful psychological technique of all. If you want lasting change, don't change your behavior. Change your identity. Behaviors follow identity automatically. Instead of, I need to be more confident, say, I'm becoming someone who speaks calmly and clearly. Instead of, I need to stop procrastinating, say, I'm the kind of person who respects my own time. Identity is the root. Behavior is the fruit. Shift the root, and everything else changes on its own. You now know 45 psychological techniques: subtle, powerful, and practical. Use them with integrity. Use them to communicate better, to lead, to build deeper connections, and to become the strongest version of yourself. Because psychological mastery isn't about controlling others, it's about mastering your presence, your energy, and your future. If you want a part 2 with even more advanced techniques, hit like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments which trick you're going to try first. These aren't about manipulation, they're about understanding human nature to create better connections. Try them out, see what happens, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights into the human mind. Thanks for watching.